2, we are now realizing, no, we are now watching Great Depression. What life was actually like. And when I think about Great Depression, I think of straight miserable niggas. Like, I'm talking about, like, it don't get more miserable than this. I'm talking about, like, you get home from work, you just got laid off, your shorty getting laid down, you get home, your kid gay.
Screaming into telephones, papers are flying everywhere. You look around the New York Stock Exchange as chaos ensues. 2 people run directly into each other, sending the memos and sales orders they're carrying into the air. The
Great Depression. This was the 20s, right? This is the 20s or the 30s.
Float down to the ground like
I think black people were still slaves, so our depression lasted longer than this shit. No bullshit. Like, I'm not gonna. It's kind of ignorant to call something a Great Depression when my niggas been depressed and oppressed for years on end, bro. No bullshit. Like, that shit is dead ass and insufferable, bro. Come on, bro.
Door. All is lost, someone yells. This is the end, a banker shouts from the mob trying to escape the mayhem. Black Thursday.
Wall Street crash. Yo, why you gotta stop talking with a list, bro? Dead ass, because in a minute you keep talking with that list, niggas gonna try to fuck you.
Full force. The closing bell rings. Stock trading comes to an end on Thursday, October 24th, 1929. Sweat pours down your face as you wipe your brow with the back of your arm. Your fingers are torn. Blood trickles from the hundreds of paper cuts you received.
It's not the water I spit in earlier. It's not the water I spit in.
12.9 million shares.
Yes, it is. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it is.
A portion of it. You tried to buy low and sell high, but the high never came. Prices of stocks just kept plummeting. You stuff your documents into your briefcase and exit out onto Wall Street. You need a stiff drink. Unfortunately, it's the time of prohibition and alcohol is illegal. Time to go to a speakeasy. You walk into a barbershop. Hey, Bill, you say to the man cutting your hair. You give him a polite nod. He frowns.
Yo, you telling me niggas had a barbershop in the 30s, but niggas was still slaves? Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Every day you learn something new, bro. Dead ass. And I learned another reason to hate niggas, bro. No bullshit. I learned something new, and I learned another reason to really hate niggas, bro. Dead ass.
Your overstuffed briefcase.
Like, what was niggas using? Cause niggas ain't even have like razors and shit like that, right? What was niggas getting a haircut with scissors? Like, yo, I'm not gonna lie,
Bill
bro.
knew what was coming from the stories the Wall Street guys told him during the haircuts. He made a wise choice and sold his stocks a few weeks prior to the crash. Bill didn't get the best return on his investment, but at least...
Yo, how long did the depression last? The entire 30s?
You walk past the row of barber chairs and enter the phone booth at the back of the shop. You dial 1933 and wait. There's the sound of a bolt unlatching, and the back of the phone booth opens up to a dark, smoke-filled room. Businessmen sit at the tables in the hidden speakeasy, smoking cigars and drinking bootleg liquor. Everyone needs a drink after the stock market crash today. Unfortunately, things were only going to get worse. You sit at an empty table alongside the hardwood wall. As your body relaxes into the chair, you let out a heavy sigh. You signal one of the servers that you're ready for a drink. As you wait, one of the gangsters that owns the establishment makes his way over to you.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. These niggas was real life gangsters back in the day. No cap. I'm not even gonna shit on these niggas. These niggas is dead ass like that. All them mafia niggas, y'all niggas is dead ass tough. No cap. I don't want no smoke with any of y'all niggas. No bullshit.
Is good for the crime bosses during this time.
Y'all got it. Y'all got it, gang.
Alcohol. They've also been loaning out money to those in need of it. The gangster stands over you, the smile never leaving his face.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I don't give a fuck if you a gangster or not. You not standing over me, nigga. I'll punch you right in your meat, nigga. Stop playing with me, nigga. Stop playing with me,
nigga.
The
stock market, he says. Don't forget, payment on your loan is still due at the end of the month, with interest. The gangster places his hand heavily on your shoulder, showing he means what he says.
What?
There will be consequences if you
It's a gangster or a stripper.
This time, you're in a desperate need of money to dig yourself out of a financial hole. Seeing themselves as good businessmen, the crime bosses use your desperation.
He put his hand on my shoulder? What?
They increase their enterprises in loan sharking and labor racketeering. Basically what the banks were doing, but under a different name. And when the banks did it, it was illegal. Since half the banks are closed in the US, you need somewhere else to get a loan. Gangsters have...
Yo, what was niggas doing? Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Great Depression probably changed a lot of niggas' sexuality, bro. No bullshit. That's the hard question niggas gotta... Yo, the Depression saved... Yo, I'm telling you right now, the Great Depression changed a lot of niggas' sexuality, bro. Because a lot of niggas had to do some uncomfortable things for some uncomfortable amount of money, bro. I'm telling you right now. If you had it, yo, I'm telling you, bro, niggas around them 30s, y'all gotta watch them, bro. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, banks was closed. Niggas couldn't get loans. Niggas had to talk to people. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Your unpleasant conversation.
Some doors don't get open without unleashing that latch.
You spot one of your fellow bankers entering.
What?
You signal him to come sit. He plops down in the chair across from you. What happened today? You ask. Black Thursday, the banker responds. He reaches out and snags a shot of grain alcohol from the tray of a server walking by. He downs it.
Yo, I got a headache, bro. My stomach hurts.
He reaches down, grabs your drink, and knocks it back. Worse things could happen, he says. And worse things did happen. The Great Depression touched every life in the United States and caused people all over the world to suffer. It was a time of unsure futures and loss. What happened? What caused the stock markets to crash and the American way of life to crumble? How did 15 million Americans lose their jobs and nearly half of the country's banks fail? Like many economic disasters, there were several different reasons.
Yo, this gotta be the reason we still in debt, bro.
The Depression was given the name the Roaring Twenties. Things were good in the U.S. World War I was over and the economy received a nice boost from wartime production. U.S. businesses expanded rapidly and the country's wealth.
I'm so glad I wasn't born in the 20s and 30s because I'm not gonna lie, the dresses and the shit bitches was wearing was not provocative enough. No cap. I need to see some see-through titties.
More than doubled during this time. Business was good and everyone wanted a piece of the action. Citizens invested in the stock market. Whether you were a railroad tycoon or just someone working on the railroad, you put your money into the stock market. Money poured into the New York Stock Exchange.
Yo, niggas ain't walking around with like safes back then. Like, was there no money going in the safe? Like, everything's straight in the bank?
1920s. The average businessman and factory worker had no idea that farmers were struggling to keep their land and maintain crop production. But the failings of the agricultural sector started to lead to higher prices for food. Even with these high prices, the farmers couldn't keep up. They started to panic. But the government didn't want to hear it while the economy was doing so well. Maybe they should have listened to the farmers a little more closely.
Damn.
Politicians were not the only ones living on cloud nine. Banks were giving out loans like money grew on trees. The government wasn't regulating them, so they were free to give and take money as they pleased. Bad investments were made, but who cared? There was always another opportunity right around the corner. Unfortunately, working wages had not kept up with the huge profits the banks and corporations were making. People started to borrow and...
Yo, this shit deadass feel like I'm in class right now. Like, I don't know what... Yo, was this nigga even speaking English?
Borrow and borrow. They would spend the money banks gave so generously out, but had no way to repay the loans and the hefty interest that went along with it. Money kept pouring into the stock market, but it was money that the buyers didn't really have. Stock prices were inflated and in excess of their real value. Then it happened. Investors and consumers got a glimpse of what was on the horizon and lost confidence in the stock market. Everyone wanted out all at once. That is when Black Thursday and the subsequent crash of the New York Stock Exchange led to the years known as the Great Depression. The United States was not the only country affected by the stock market collapse. International trade was still recovering from World War I. Many European countries relied heavily on American sales and investments for income. They also owed the United States huge sums of money in loans that had been given to help Europe rebuild after much of the continent and the people living there were ravaged by the war. The United States needed money. Europe didn't have any to give, and the money the world was making off the lucrative United States.
So we basically got robbed,
ashes overnight.
We gave them money, they didn't have enough money to get us back, so they never paid us back.
What about the average citizen? What was life like for someone who had invested heavily in the stock market and lost everything? It was not pleasant, to say the least. You return home after
this is pretty much like putting all your money on the Lakers to win the fucking NBA, the 2026 NBA Finals, and them niggas losing, bro. This is like this. That's all you had to say. Like, I hate niggas started pinking up like some like ridiculous ass words, start upgrading their vocabulary, looking in the dictionary and shit. All you had to say, this is like blaming all your money on black, bro. Like, that's all happened, bro.
You are covered in dust and sweat from walking since sunrise. You've gone to every open factory, but no one needs more help. Business is not booming, and they already are at capacity for workers. This is the story that the average American citizen was told when looking for work. Even manual labor jobs are hard to come by, and when you do find one, they pay pennies. The government had been creating public works jobs and employing thousands of people, but even the government doesn't have enough money to pay their workers, and layoffs ensue.
Yo, where are the white niggas at and all this like descriptions and shit, bro? Like all these images, like where the black niggas at? Oh shit, it's the 30s. We were still slaves. Shit, fuck my fault. We were still in the fields. Damn.
Standing in line
I'm bugging, bro. We not yet. This wasn't us. We wasn't lawyers and shit yet. Well, we still aren't. Like,
because of the failing agricultural industry. The lines for soup kitchens span city blocks. Even if you wait in them an entire day, there's no guarantee they'll have any food left when you
I know niggas' pants wasn't this tight back in the day.
Reach the front of the line. Massive marches are organized to
Yo,
force free
niggas
banks and
walking
the government
around
to
with
provide more public
pussies,
services.
bro.
Protesters
Yo,
set up camp outside
what?
government buildings because they have nowhere else to go.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. You walk around with a sign that said "Must we starve?" You deserve to starve, bro. Like, must we starve? Like, nigga, this is not the Bible, bro. Like, yo, must we starve? Like, give us work. Like, I don't even want to feed y'all niggas at this point, bro. Like, what?
Those
like,
who still have money are not willing to
why
let it
niggas
go to
talking
help
like
the common
this?
person. Unfortunately, poverty and hunger
Niggas
are
walking
not
around
the
with
only
top
things
hats
to
and
plague
shit, bro,
American
like-
citizens during the Great Depression.
You niggas
Disease
is-
such as tuberculosis goes unchecked. The healthcare infrastructure in the United States is underfunded, and there are not enough trained doctors and nurses. If you get sick, you either live with your illness or you die. There is little or no hope of getting help.
Fuck Margella. Yeah,
The
Plunk,
winters
you
are cold. and
Plunk,
harsh,
you's a hoe,
causing
nigga.
Vast numbers of homeless and sick.
Yo, Plunk, I got an E-date on Wednesday, nigga. Come on, but you already know what time it
Life
is,
expectancy and
nigga.
birth rates drop.
Chris Brown,
because
twin,
there
Michael B.
just aren't
Jordan,
enough
related,
resources to
brother,
support
come
the
on.
elderly or newborns. It's a time of tragedy in the family life of United States
Yo,
citizens.
Plunk, I ain't gonna lie. Niggas like you should have been born during the
Begin to pass
Depression,
time
bro.
by going
No
to weekly
bullshit.
Shows. Every Sunday, Shirley Temple plays on the big screen. If the show is not
Shirley
free, you
Temple,
can
that's a
always
real
just
person?
sneak in. The community tries their best to support one another, and if someone falls ill, others try to help in any way they can. This could be something as simple as giving pieces of coal to warm up an apartment.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Shirley Temple, like, imagine you being named after an alcohol drink. Like, shorty, like, you ain't gonna lie. Like you could rest in vain, in peace, knowing that millions of niggas a day drink you, bro. Oh, wait, no, that's bad. No, that's bad word, and that's bad word, and that's
or
bad
handing over a few
word,
cents
and
that
I'm not
might
gonna
be
lie.
spared if
I
they're
be
lucky
drinking-
enough
I
to
be
have a
drinking
job.
you, Shirley.
Life is hard
Nah,
during the
come
Great
on,
Depression,
bruh.
but
I don't
people will
even-
band together to try to get through it. Without the support of the community, no one will make it. Not all populations were affected in the same way.
Like, imagine
Although
niggas
there
giving,
were
like,
some
imagine niggas giving you a penny and give you an extra bowl of soup, like.
policies put in place for white
Yo,
working
niggas had
men,
it,
black
like-
men were not afforded the same treatment. Farm and manual labor jobs that black men worked at had no minimum wages. Therefore, when times got hard, business owners could drop the wages to unlivable levels.
Oh my
but
God,
people had
bro.
to work even if it was for next to nothing. Black communities were not given the same relief packages from the
Yo,
government.
Nick, yo, I'm telling you right now, black niggas was not holding protest signs saying "Must we starve," bro. I wasn't there, but I'm telling you that right now, that never
As
happened.
white
nigga.
communities
no
abused
bullshit.
discrimination practices with local governments. Despite all of this tragedy, there
Malcolm
was a
X
decent
wouldn't
light
stand
on
for
the
this shit.
horizon for black citizens. Under the Roosevelt administration, there was what came to be known as the Black Cabinet, led by Mary McLeod Bethune. Bethune was a champion for racial and gender equality. As Roosevelt's director of Negro Affairs of the National Youth Administration, she ensured that every New Deal
Of what
required
affairs?
Bethune. Bethune was a champion for racial and gender equality. As Roosevelt's director of Negro Affairs of the National Youth
Yo,
Administration,
I'm not gonna lie, yo. Who else had that English teacher who, no matter what happened, they always made an excuse to say the word nigga, bro? No boy, they even let a couple hard R's out. No bullshit, dead ass. And they used to look right up at the black people. No bullshit. Every time they was reading. And as they go in the fields, the niggas will always come out at nighttime.
every New Deal agency had a black advisor on it. The number of African Americans
Every
working
time,
in
you could've
government
just skipped
tripled
over the
under her
word,
leadership.
bro.
Civil rights still had a long way to go, but it was through Bethune's passion for equality and hard work that strides were made during the Great
can't say that
Depression
shit now.
to make the country more equitable.
won't let
for
you say
everyone.
that shit
there
now,
was one
bro.
group of Americans who actually gained more jobs during the Great Depression. The number of employed women rose by 24%. The marriage rates during the Great Depression decreased by 22%. Nobody could afford to date or start a family without money or a
What?
job, and this in turn led to large
Yo, you
amounts of
telling me niggas are so broke they couldn't even fuck me? Yeah.
for employment to support themselves and their families. Jobs available to women such as nursing, teaching, and domestic work were still in demand. The messed up part of the system, though, was that the government's wage code set lower wages for women than men. By law, employers could pay women less than men for the exact same job during. Although these wage codes were abandoned and now everyone under the law should receive equal pay, remnants of these policies from the Great Depression still plague working women in America today. Toward the end of the 1930s, Franklin Delano Roosevelt and his New Deal policies began to restore the country to normalcy. Relief packages and regulations allowed the banks to begin to recover and companies to provide more jobs. Then World War II began. Wartime is always lucrative for the United States industries. Businesses ramped up wartime production. This created more jobs and money. Funds from abroad began to flow into the United States economy as foreign nations paid for equipment and products to fight the war. It is sad in a way that war leads to profits, but it may have been what saved the United States from the Great Depression. The 1930s were a rough time in the United States, to say the least. There were practically no high-paying jobs, and the average American lost everything. Without the support of community and relief organizations, millions more would have died. The Great Depression should be a warning that loose regulations and poor government oversight can lead to disaster. Until recent events, the United States economy was growing rapidly. It is eerily similar to the growth that the stock exchange enjoyed during the Roaring '20s. It may be time to take a step back and make sure that banks and businesses are following sustainable practices. Economic growth is not necessarily a precursor to a stock market crash, but it is always good to make sure that stock prices actually reflect the true value of companies, instead of an inflated value. Unrealistic stock prices could cause the stock market to pop and crash at the blink of an eye, as it did on Black Thursday. Now go check out Worst Days in the History of the World and